Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I am Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
It's a good question. You know how life has peaks and valleys?
Yeah, where you at here, bud?
Right now, I'm in a valley. I got to be honest.
It's all right. It's all right. You know what? You got to get to the valley in order to get to the peak.
That's right.
Or you got to start at the valley in order to get to the peak.
It's not going to be, it's going to be a boring life if you're at a peak all the time. That's unrealistic. That's not the human condition. Everybody deals with peaks and valleys. So I'll tell you why, a little bit of why, not all of it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I've got 3 physical ailments going on at one time.
Oh,
right
bud.
So I've had for a few years a neck thing. I got an MRI a few years ago. I've got a disc that's messed up in between C5-6 and 6-7, and that's flared back up over the last couple of weeks, and it's worse than it's ever been in my life.
Is that a chiropractor kind of issue, or is that not hopefully, but unfortunately I may just need surgery kind of issue?
Went to the doctor, not the chiropractor, but my primary care physician. He said, first of all, basically that you're 40, this is going to be there forever. We're just going to treat it the best we can. When it flares up, it's going to go away.
I got another year.
It's going to go away. You don't have much time. We're going to talk about that in a minute. He said, you gotta treat it. It's going to go away. It's going to come back. It's going to go away. That's the way it's probably going to be forever, just with this condition. We're going to do everything we can to not have you have to do a surgery on your spine. Of course, that's last resort. Neck is right now, this moment since I got here, the best it's felt in a week.
Nice.
I
took your first step up out of the valley.
I'm more at a profile today looking at you because I can't face this way.
Turn your neck. Sure, I get you.
Yeah. I mean, I was all day long today at work. I'm like, this guy I work with is making fun of me and stuff. Anyway,
it's such the worst.
It's a lot of pain.
I've had those issues, but it'll happen and it'll be for about maybe 24 hours or less, and it'll work its way out.
That's usually how it happens for me. Twice now, a few years ago, and then now it flares up and stays. And so
I didn't go to work one day. I woke up one morning and I couldn't move my neck at all, and I didn't go to work.
So I didn't go to work Monday or Tuesday, but that's because I made doctor's appointments and went in right away. So then the next day, he sent me to an orthopedic specialist to fix the other problem, which is my shoulder.
Nice.
Have a rotator cuff sprain and a possible tear in some other part.
Really? A rotator cuff sprain? That's the first time I've ever heard of a sprain.
Sprain or strain, maybe.
Okay.
So there's something going on in there that's been weakening and getting sore for 3 months. It's been worse and worse and worse. Played 2 leagues of basketball through it, kept working out through it because I was going to do as much as I could.
Plus a lot of times they say, build them up. Well, when I tore my labrum, that was more, it was too small of a tear to do surgery on. They just said, build the muscle around it and that'll help it.
Funny you say that. I go to the specialist just for this. I'm trying to tell him about my neck. I'm like, do something for my neck, please do. He's like, yeah, well, it's all connected. I'm going to look at your neck too. Anyway, the shoulder, physical therapy starts next week, and gave me a steroid injection in the shoulder while I was there. I just finished my second day of a steroid for the neck. So I'm on a steroid pack now. Got the steroid injection in the shoulder as well.
Nice.
Got an anti-inflammatory that I picked up today that I can start taking tomorrow along with those steroids. By the way, I asked for whatever they gave Hulk Hogan.
Buff Bagwell? Yeah, okay. It was all right.
Buff Bagwell in the 90s. So yes.
Or we should probably say Scott Steiner, right? I mean, it was Big Daddy. What was it? Right. Big Daddy Pump.
Big Papa Pump.
Big Papa Pump. He was the steroid nut. Dude. That dude had a little golf ball on top of his bicep. It was the coolest thing in the world.
Coolest until it's disgusting later in his life. Vince McMahon on steroids as well. Everybody was. So I'm sure the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, that's part of Dark Side of the Ring. There's a whole episode on Dark Side of the Ring about the steroid
era.
No, it was the trial. They all went on trial for all that. I mean, they got off, but the doctor didn't get off. But yeah, they had a doctor on. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into all that.
Okay, so I'm getting that stuff treated. I feel better about it now than I did 3 days ago.
Good.
So that's a good thing. Last Thursday, let me back up. Last Monday,
Oh,
I go to the dentist for a regular cleaning, checkup, all that stuff.
It's always the worst. I already know the story.
Everything was fine.
Oh, everything was good.
I
Okay.
actually thought it was going to be worse, and they looked at it, and they're always like, "Well, this, is a little
We're
something
gonna
to
keep
look
an
at."
eye. We're gonna keep an eye on the L2 bicuspid in the
Yeah.
larynx or something.
Yeah.
That's a throat thing, I think.
It's a throat thing, but hey, it's the mouth. It's part of it.
Mesial. That's what they always yell out when I'm doing my thing. Mesial, and
They just go mesial.
dude, do they ever count? Do they do like the counting thing for you?
I hear numbers. I'm like,
Dude.
they're talking to each other. They're like, I'm gonna put a check on 17, and then at 4,
Oh,
we gotta look at something here.
my dentist, I just started going to this dentist not that long ago, a few years ago. They do every other time you go, they take the little thing and they check how much gum, like I don't know how far it goes into your gum, and if it starts bleeding, and it says if you got gum disease and gingivitis and all that, and they just go 2 2 1 1 2 2 4 3 2 3 2 2 3 2 3 3 3 2 2 1 1 2 3. Are you on 15? Yeah, 15. Good job. 3 2 2 3 3. And I'm like, what is going on?
Binary code here.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Oh.
So anyway, Monday goes fine. Thursday, 3 days later, after being at the dentist, nothing about this. I ordered Chick-fil-A from DoorDash. I eat all my stuff. I got the cookie, of course.
Absolutely.
I got 2 cookies, to be honest with you. First one's going down. I bite into something as I'm chewing the cookie. I'm like, oh, that's hard.
Oh no.
Like, this doesn't have nuts in it, does it?
Oh no.
Pull it out.
White.
It's 70% of one of my teeth in the back.
That
Top. It's like it's not even like it's not a clean break. It's like a
jagged. And then how did you tear your tongue up?
No. For that happening, the luckiest a person could possibly be. No pain, no nerves exposed, no blood, nothing wrong except that part of my tooth fell out.
So they got to give you a crown, I guess. Is that a crown that comes out of that?
Yeah, I finally got in it. First of all, that happened Thursday. I'm like, oh my God, I'm kind of panicking.
Yeah.
I called him right away, no answer, had to leave a message, didn't call me back, called back Friday morning. We don't work Fridays.
We don't work Fridays, yeah.
Also not Saturdays or Sundays. So I'm going 4 days with this tooth partially out of my mouth.
But it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt.
That's a good thing.
But it's very alarming that part of my tooth that I didn't have any problems with before.
You're 40, bro. You're 40, bro. Our teeth are old.
I'm 40, and right away I'm like, this is what I eat ice cream and cookies every day of my life, and this is why that happened.
That's not why. That'd be if it had. Did you had it previously filled before? Was it a previous filling?
I didn't remember this. He's like, I think this is a real old filling that was breaking down just over time or whatever, and it must have had a little hole enough to for the tooth to kind of start breaking away from the rest of it underneath or something. And and part of it was like porcelain anyway. That was so he's like, yeah. So he's like, that's what happened. And so he's like, well, we'll fill it in with the synthetic thing, and then we'll do a temporary cap, and then you'll come back 2 weeks later and put a permanent one on. So I got to wait 2 more weeks to even go in for the temporary one
to get it.
But at least it's not hurting. There's nothing wrong except
when I chipped my tooth, my tongue, it was the same back in the back. My tongue would graze against it because I always kept feeling it, like, oh man, and I tore my tongue apart.
There's nothing sharp in there either.
Oh, you're so lucky.
I got very lucky on that. Anyway, so I'm trying to look at the positive part of that. So I've got all these ailments at the same time. It's getting me down a little bit. Some other stuff, but I'll tell you, this podcast, the light I need.
That's right,
I need to keep going.
That's where we're ready to go.
It's therapeutic.
The man has got 3 different ailments. He's struggling just to look at me, but he's you know what? He didn't call in, and he's not on the IR or the DL. Which, by the way, shout out to Tyler Root. At some point, he's been on the show before, the old Cheap Seats host at UCLA out in California. get on the TikTok and look up Tyler Root. This dude is hilarious. By the way, disabled is the way to say it. That's totally fine to say that.
He'll tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. So why can't we say disabled anymore? Because it's not disabled. They're just injured.
Nobody was more upset about the change than he was about that.
Did he really? I didn't
like. This is so stupid.
I'm good. It'll always be the DL. I'm so happy. I didn't get to that one on the TikTok thing, so I'm gonna have to find that one on it. But
I just remember talking to him about it.
Oh, you did, yeah.
He's like, "Why are they doing this? This is weird."
I'm so happy to hear that. So anyway, because that doesn't make any sense to me, and I don't know how all that stuff works. But here's the deal: it's been the DL for 30 years. It's the DL, man. Like nobody means anything bad by it. Nobody's trying to knock down any kind of disabled people because of it. It's just what it's called.
It's also fine to call it the injured list. If you want to change it, okay, but it's not. Is it offensive though? Is that why? I mean, that's the thing. If they're changing it because they think it's offensive, who are the people that complained about it?
Yeah, that's always the 1%, man. The 1% are the loudest, and they're the ones that get everything changed. 90% of the people could care less. All right. Anyway, on top of that, speaking of your tooth getting fallen out from cookies and everything, I think it's time for what we do for the very first part of this segment, and that is the Reese's. That is Reese's. And you were in charge of Reese's, and while you get that out, as you just reminded me, there's 2 congratulations that we need to give out today. You put that in a great place, right behind your head. You got to turn the neck a little bit, just what we talked about. So there's 2 congratulations. As you go ahead, let's get these bad boys. Or do you got a story to go with this? All right, 2 congratulations. I want to shout out to Mr. Albert Pujols, one of the greatest baseball players to ever live. Congratulations, 700 home runs, one of 5, 6 people to do it. And if you take out steroid players, he's one of 3. So that's unbelievable. Congratulations. It's in 700 just happened. 700 home runs.
We talked about this. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that happened.
Not only that, but an hour ago, Aaron Judge hit his 61st home run. I wasn't sure if he was ever going to hit 61. It took him a week and a half, but he got 61. Congratulations. He ties Roger Maris for the most home runs in a season in the American League, and also ties him for the most home runs ever hit in a single season by a non-steroid user. So congratulations. Congratulations to Aaron Judge. He's not human of a man. The guy is enormous. He's 6'9" or something like that, and he's a beast of a man. And if there's a guy that's going to be able to do it, it's a guy like him. And I'm happy for him. He did it the right way. He's got the right attitude. He's a Yankee. He's one of those Yankees, man. He's one of those, Lou Gehrig's. He's a who's the last one we just had? A Bernie Williams or a Derek Jeter. Seems like just a Mariano Rivera, just a good guy, says the right things, does it the Yankee way, which I hate the Yankees, but you got to love certain players. And I really like Aaron Judge. He's great with kids. Seen nothing but good things with him. I don't know how he really is in real life, but he puts on one hell of a persona, or he really is that great, then that's even better. Congratulations to those 2.
Absolutely. Rooting for 62. I mean, he's got 5, 6, 7 games left.
Yeah, he's got enough games left. He should be able to do it. And did you see the other day he walked 4 times?
I did. Here's the thing. So we don't have to get into a long thing here, but it still drives. It's going to happen every time something like this goes on. It drives me crazy that people boo when guys that are hitting tons of home runs get walked. It drives me insane. Are you kidding? You're going to be mad at a player for not wanting to give up a home run so he walks the
when
guy.
there's nobody on and you're losing 5-1. I feel like at that point in time, you need to go out. You need outs more than you need more base runners on base. Like a solo home run doesn't hurt you in that situation. Getting an out is way more important at that point in time. 5-1 or 6-1 is the same thing in my head. Go get the out.
Slam distance. 5-1 slam distance.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, if the guy after now, whoever, it's the Yankees lineups, whoever's hitting after him, they're not going to be a bad hitter. But if it's less than 2 outs and you're like, I have a great matchup with Stanton or whoever's after him.
Stanton's in front of him right now.
Okay.
Stanton sucks right now.
Yeah.
He's terrible right now. Since he came off the DL, he's been
He
the
can
IR,
hit it
IL,
650
or
feet,
whatever
but
it
he
is.
can also hit 150 at
He
times.
struggled quite a bit.
Yeah. But I mean, if you have, so then there you go. If he was hitting after him and you're like, I can get a double play if I put Judge on first and we get out of this without giving up
Yeah.
that extra run. Anyway, it's just still, it's crazy to me that people boo because they want to see the home run.
But they're there. But they're 60. The guy's got 60 home runs. You bought a ticket to Yankee Stadium. In that case, you're not. I mean, you're booing the pitcher, but a lot of that is booing the fact that you didn't get a chance to see it. I didn't get a chance.
It's a baseball
to see
game.
it.
You're not going to get a chance whenever you want it.
I get it, but it's okay to be a little upset in that case.
I guess.
I mean, you're not booing your own team. You're not.
I don't support booing under any circumstances, but anyway. Okay, I'm gonna hand you this and tell you what's going on.
All right, here we go.
While you open that up, the first thing you're gonna see in there is our Reese's for the season.
Yeah, baby, let's do it.
The second thing you're gonna see in there are a couple of bags wrapped up with something wrapped up with your placeholder birthday gift because a couple of days ago was your birthday. Happy birthday to you.
I don't need any kind of birthday.
This is just a placeholder because I ordered the other one I ordered that I thought was going to be here today. It's now not going to be here until tomorrow. So I'll either give it to you, I'll either drop it off to you, or I'll wait till next week.
This is too much. This is too much.
It's not too much.
This is too much already.
If you're
This
ever wrong
this
about
alone
anything, it's
this alone is too much.
It's not.
This alone is way too much. This
It's
is
nothing.
this is not nothing. This is about 4 pounds of Reese cups, the big cups. It may not be 4 pounds, but it's pretty daggone close. I can guarantee you that. That's half a pound, right? 8 points or 16 ounces in a pound, 8 ounces in a pound. A pound of Reese cups. I just talked my way through that. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Happy 31st or 48th or whatever. No, I'm just kidding.
39. Yeah, old man, 39. All right. So
Last year was 30.
this week, thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
I'm gonna eat. I'm putting those in the truck
But
because it's cool. It's cool enough now. I can put them in the truck and they won't melt.
this thing's
If
nice
I-
refrigerated
if
overnight, pal.
If I do that, they'll be gone by Friday. Guaranteed.
It might not last tomorrow.
Yeah, they may not last tomorrow. Depending on how much driving I get.
Whenever you're watching this, we're recording this on a Wednesday, so it's gonna take 2 days or less for those things.
That's right. So this week, Adam has got the Reese's. We've got dark chocolate Reese's peanut butter thins. This is different, my friend. Very excited about this though.
Oh, yeah.
Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate,
It doesn't look like dark chocolate. It looks
It
like milk
doesn't.
chocolate.
that's a good call.
It does say dark, right? Yeah,
does
it
say
does
dark.
say dark.
Apparently dark chocolate, we'll find out. when
All right,
we-
we're gonna definitely find. Yeah, it smells like dark chocolate.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a bite out of these bad
Mine has
boys.
a booger on it, so
Oh. It's just the peanut butter. It's just the peanut butter.
I don't know, but okay.
If it's
I'm
salty,
in
then it's a
a
butter.
valley anyway, I'm going for it.
I love it. It's different right there. All right.
So yeah, my preconceived notion about this wasn't gonna be very good.
Okay.
Dark chocolate and thins means less peanut butter.
Less peanut butter. We always say, what are our favorite? Our favorites are the big cups, which you just got me. Thank you. The favorites are the big cups. Why? Because there's more peanut butter. Adam, first impressions.
Not, it's, you know what? I like it more than I thought I was going to. It doesn't taste like a heavy dark chocolate. You know, you see those things that they line them up in the candy aisle. It's 50% cacao. If that's how you say it, is it cacao?
Sure.
I've heard people say that. 60%,
Wait a minute, how do you spell that?
70% CACAO.
That's not just cocoa.
That's CACAO.
Oh, CA.
From either a cocoa or a cacao plant.
Or the cacao. I don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Man, did I just make fun of people with stutters?
No,
Okay, good. Didn't mean to if I did.
no, you didn't. Are they on the disabled list? Maybe. But
It's not bad. I mean, because look, it's not that high percentage
No.
dark chocolate.
And you get a little peanut butter to tone it down.
Exactly. And yes, I would love for there to be more peanut butter in here, but you know what you're getting. It
Mhm.
says thins, you can see it right there. For less peanut butter and for dark chocolate, which I always prefer milk chocolate over dark,
100%.
for this being what I thought it was gonna be, quite a bit better than I thought. Not the best thing we've had.
This is pretty much exactly what I thought this was going to be.
So it met your expectation of not being that great,
Mm.
or
I can taste the dark chocolate like I thought I would be able to. The peanut butter tones it down a little bit. I kind of figured it would be better than just eating dark chocolate. It's definitely better than just eating dark chocolate. So if you like dark chocolate and peanut butter, then this is going to be really good.
Yeah.
My taste buds, like you said, not dark chocolate, more peanut butter. And I don't even like peanut butter, but Reese's peanut butter obviously is 10 out of 10. I'm giving this 5.9.
whoa. That's a low score. for
That's a
this
low score
game.
for the Reese's game, bud. Low score.
You gave it a 5.9, and I gave it a 7.4 because it exceeded my expectations a little bit, not a ton, a little bit.
No, that's good. I wouldn't. Yeah, I'd be fine with
I
7.4.
quickly ate two without even thinking about it.
Mhm.
Like I ate that first one,
But I think I'm in on like number 5 right now.
so not that bad.
I'll eat it. It's still Reese's,
It's still chocolate, it's still peanut butter.
100%. And before we get into our next segment, though,
Yeah,
remember last week when we had
I do remember last week.
the Mount Rushmore, if I'm not mistaken, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Might have been 2 weeks ago. No, it was last week. It doesn't matter. Stop talking over yourself and just ask the question, Chris, because everybody's getting ready to change the channel.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Superhero, what do you call it? Hero powers. That's what it was. Powers, superpowers. We both had the same superpower that we liked, which was mind reading, because
Screech powers, by the way.
right. Because we want to know what people think about us, right? You always want everybody to like you. I have a problem. I don't personally think it's a problem, but I've been told it's a problem. I want everyone to like me,
Yes.
and I will go overboard sometimes to do that.
Okay.
So that was one of the powers. I want to have that. So my son had basketball tryouts today. They allowed the parents in basketball tryouts this year, where we were not allowed in last year. I guess last year was still some kind of COVID thing. I thought it was just because they just didn't want us in there.
Mhm.
So they allowed them in there, but I didn't want to be there. I wanted to leave. I know way too many people in that place. Not to say that like I'm some fancy, but they're all the kids Parker's been going to school with, coached many, many different things with all these kids. I just didn't want to be out there, and I don't want to have any influence on anything. I don't want anything. And I also don't want Parker to be looking at me constantly during the tryout, because I will say, be more aggressive, or I'll say, I'll mouth things that I want him to do. And I don't want to do that. I'm not here to coach him. He needs to go out, try out, do his thing on his own and get away.
Great perspective there, by the way.
So I leave and come back, and the head coaches of the select team, they got 3 of these select teams out of all these 60 kids that try out, and they take like 8 kids on each team or something like that. So anyway, this is my thing that got me today, where I wish I had that superpower. End of tryouts, I walk in, I'm saying hi to every single kid around, every kid that's been on any team of mine. We all do the same handshake. It's 2 smacks and a knuckle. You know what I mean? We got our handshake that we do here. It's relatively close to that. I like to try to keep things nice and easy, mostly so I remember them all. But I've got all, basketball kids, baseball kids. I've been coaching baseball since Parker was 3 years old, and we've been having these kids do that. Parker's 9, all his friends are 10. Long time. Basketball the last couple, just that's what we do. So I got all these kids lined up, and some kids I'm showing them it to still, and then we're doing some stuff. And I don't know if that's where it started. I don't know. Well, we start walking out, and one of the little kids, well, a kid is a buddy of mine. The kid's not a buddy of mine. A buddy of mine's kid. Let me say that. And I know this kid, great kid, nice kid. Didn't mean anything by this. So when I say this, I'm not saying the kid's a terrible person. He didn't mean anything by it. He's totally good. But he looks at me and he goes, hey, Coach Chris, if I couldn't make if you didn't want me for your baseball team, then you don't want me for your basketball team. And I said, but I'm not coaching basketball. Like, it's nothing to do with it. Well, I'm just telling you, you didn't want me for your baseball team, then you don't want me for your basketball team. I said, man, I definitely want you for my baseball team. Well, then why didn't you take me? I was like, well, man, you just need to work a little bit harder and we'll see what happens next year. And his dad's there and his dad's laughing because I've known his dad for 15, 20 years or whatever. So he's getting a kick out of all of this. And we're doing this as his coach last year was one of the select coaches that were there. And we were walking out and I'm like, you're a little man, you're killing me over here, dude. And he's messing with me, like hitting me with his sweatshirt and all that. And this random coach, not random coach, I know him, never really had a conversation with him, but we both know who each other are, obviously. And he says, I'll tell you what, he said, get him, Cotton. I almost dropped the name out there. He said, get him, dude. Get Coach Witt. He goes, getting a little sassy for himself. He might need to get knocked down off his pedestal a notch. Well, knocked me out. Hold up a second.
I'll talk to you.
Talking about me. Yeah, he's telling that kid, tell Coach Chris. Tell Coach Witt. He's getting a little sassy for himself. He might need to get knocked down off his pedestal a notch. What did I do? What in my life? What pedestal? Like, I know that I want everybody to like me, and I try to talk to everybody, and I'm huggy, and I'm always hugging people and giving every dad, every person high five everywhere. What pedestal do I? What? Now I'm in my head right now.
Yeah,
dude. For the last hour and a half, 2 hours. It lasts 2 hours. It's the only thing I can think about.
I don't blame you. I would be the same way. Hearing it from a person who's not inside your head, though. And I wasn't there or anything. I didn't hear the tone or anything like that, but I can definitely see that possibly being just words to help fan the flame. Not actually, it doesn't actually mean you think you're on some pedestal, or it might have just been whatever.
I don't know. Here's the deal. I know this guy because he's coaches some things and he's high up in the Oak Hills school thing. So everybody knows this guy and he coaches many different things. He's never coached my son in anything, but and we've never coached against each other, but we've coached in the same organization. So I've never had a real conversation outside of, hey brother, how are you? Outside of that, I've never had a conversation with this guy. So that threw me off because now in my head, I'm like, oh, so this is somebody out there that has had a conversation, or that somebody's talking about me about something I do with coaching, because this is one of the things that I hate more than anything, having to cut kids and then having parents start talking about you and your team and your political team that you have.
Well, that a lot of the times when that happens, it's parents that aren't capable of being rational. They're so upset for their kid because their kid is so upset. They stop thinking about.
I don't think I ever cut his kid. If I did, it was in when it was 3 years ago, the year after nobody played baseball. That's the only time I would have ever done it.
I just mean,
like the other people talking.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If he heard something from one of those parents, from a kid that you had to cut, I mean, then you have to completely be able to throw that away. You don't know who, if he even talked to anybody else, but I'm telling you, I think that could have just been, he's trying to just kind of get involved and just kind of
what was
show
going
support
on
to the kid.
Yeah,
just
play around with him. And he's a great guy. Everybody loves him. I like him. I really like him. He's a really nice guy, really great guy from the few encounters we've had. So that really made, it's been messing with me. It's been messing with me.
Is there anything you can think of that a real reason why anybody would think that about you?
There's a million reasons. Are you kidding me? But my mouth opens so much more than it should because I'm trying to be that guy. I guarantee I've said something that I shouldn't have said to somebody that probably whatever. I guarantee I have. I don't think I did. I don't know what I would have said, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't have talked about something at some point in time that would have irritated somebody. I do it all the time. My foot needs to be taken out of my mouth all the time, dude. All the time.
Whatever, something like that, if that stuff happens, you're not gonna, because you're not
I just
a
wish I was
malicious bad
innocent.
guy, you're never gonna say anything that's like actually mean or bad to anybody.
No.
It's so there's nothing really that whatever anybody thinks, if there's any truth to whatever that guy was saying, I mean, is it really that bad? I mean, can anybody really think that bad of you? It truly, I don't think so. You're just not, you're not the kind of guy.
There are people that don't like me. People don't like me.
People don't like me either. I do my best, you do your best. You know, I'm totally inside my own head too. I overthink everything. And I want everybody to like me. So yes, I would feel the same way you do. So I totally get that. Also, it might just be nothing.
I hope it's nothing, man. I don't want anybody to think that I'm on some kind of pedestal and I think I'm like so much greater than anything, because I am the farthest thing from great in any way, shape, or form at anything. The only thing I can do really well is talk. That is it. And I will put my mouth up against anybody's mouth.
Which is why I can't do this podcast by myself. You have to be here because you're much better at that than I am. Okay. I am telling you, you are not. I don't
knock
see
me
you-
down off my pedestal
I
a little
don't
bit.
see, no, I'm telling you, I don't think you think you're on some pedestal. I don't think you think you're better than anybody else, or you're above.
I try to be the
anything.
most self-deprecating person on purpose.
Of course.
Anyway,
You're,
all right.
you're a humble guy.
Sorry. So, all right. I just had to get that off my chest.
I'm
I've
glad you
been
did.
thinking about it for all day.
I'm glad you did.
I hope you're right.
You have nothing to worry about.
I'm currently finishing off the last dark Reese's Thin.
If you'd like some more, I've got a few in there.
No, I just need to finish that bag off. I'm not eating it. I'll never eat another one of those again.
Wait, since you finished the whole bag, has it changed from a 5.9?
No, still there.
Okay.
Maybe 5.7, but yeah, somewhere in there, it might have dropped one.
I
or two.
thought it might have.
All right, so that brings us to our next thing. We're going to get directly into. So the Bengals won this past week, so their season is not completely over. All three of us had a win against the Jets. The Bengals play tomorrow, which is Thursday, against Miami, who is 3-0, which means we need to make our NFL picks.
That's right. And what's the spread in that game?
My iPad is currently lost, so my phone is being used for the podcast right now, and the spread is 3.5 Cincinnati, which means I think you might be doing something with this game the way you asked that, huh?
I looked it up earlier and I forgot already.
Okay.
So I was truly just asking.
Well, let's start off with the most important thing.
Yep.
How did we do last week?
We didn't do great.
Hmm.
First week, we were both 0-3, which was week 2.
Man, against the spread, we're getting killed.
This past week, we were both 1-2.
Oh man, the Saints have killed me. I'm done with the Saints, bro. I'm done with the Saints.
Yep.
There was no reason they shouldn't have covered. They had the ball. It's 3-3 game in the fourth quarter. They had the ball, and he throws it.
Drew Brees is not walking through that door.
No, Jameis Winston is not Drew Brees, no matter how much I thought he was going to be. I mean, when he came out of college, obviously. Right now, I don't think that, but
yeah. So yeah, we both had a win, but we both had our first correct pick of the year.
hey, so we're both the same.
We're both 1-5.
Oof, this is bad.
Yeah.
All right, it's time to turn this thing around, brother. Start us off. You go first.
I like this. Washington is at Dallas. The Washington Capitals, Senators, Commanders, right? Commanders.
Yeah.
Washington Commanders, which is the first time I think I've said that out loud. At the Dallas, is it pronounced Cowboys?
It's Cowboys.
Cowboys. Okay.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the first syllable. The Cowboys
Yes.
are a 3-point favorite at home, and I'm going to go ahead and take the Cowboys.
You're taking the Cowboys, huh? You're taking Rush, whatever his name is.
Ronda Rousey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go to Las Vegas. I've never been there, but I'm going to go there for Denver at Las Vegas, Raiders of Anaheim. And Las Vegas is a 2.5-point favorite at home. I'm taking Denver to win that game.
Nice.
The Jacksonville, some sort of Cats. At the Philadelphia, some sort of Birds. Philadelphia is 6.5-point favorite at home. I think that's too much. I think the Phillies. I think the some sort of Birds probably win the game, but 6.5 feels like a lot for that game. I don't think Jacksonville's quite as bad as I thought they were going to be, or maybe at least just 3 games. I don't know. I'm taking Jacksonville. I've got
Jacksonville's a really good team right now. So
Dallas, Denver, and Jacksonville.
Dallas, Denver, and Jacksonville. That sounds good. All right, so I'm going to start off. We've got Chiefs and Buccaneers Sunday night. This is a 1-point spread in favor of the Chiefs. So the Bucs are getting 1 point in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is currently being killed by Hurricane Ike, Ian, I believe it is. So my guess is they're not going to play it in Tampa Bay.
Minnesota is what I hear.
Is that where they're going? To Minnesota? Well, I'm going to take the Chiefs in that game. I'm taking the Chiefs -1.
Chiefs are -1.
Yeah, Chiefs are -1. I'm taking the Chiefs. That becomes a neutral site game, makes things a lot different.
Good call.
So that being said, let's move on to the next. 49ers Rams sounds like a really good game. And the Niners are laying 1.5 against the Rams. That's a lot of fun. I like to know how that thing goes. I'm not going to take it though.
I know not to start writing until you finish. You've done that 2 or 3 times.
I have not done anything to look at any of these. So this is going to be, I'm going to have to actually start studying. If I have another 0 or 1, I'm 100% going to start actually looking at this beforehand and get myself back together. Last year I had a good year doing it this way.
Crushed me last week.
Here's what we're going to do. Cardinals, Panthers in Carolina. I don't know which Carolina it's in, but it's in a Carolina, and it's the Panthers, and they are getting 1.5 points. Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield. I'm taking Kyler Murray in Carolina. We're going to go with another road underdog. So I'm going to take the Cardinals +1.5. Oh no, the first game I took the road favorite, the Chiefs. So this last game is a game that I've been looking at for pretty much this whole week. And I've got some ideas on it. And it's not that game. You know what? Let's do the Thursday Bengals game. Let's do this.
Yay.
The Bengals are laying 3.5 in Cincinnati under the lights. This is unbelievable to me that the 3-0 Dolphins team is getting points against this 1-2 Bengals team that has not played anybody yet. And somehow it has only got 1 win. And the Dolphins really haven't played too many people either, but they are 3-0 and have scored more points. No, I think the Lions have scored more points than anybody. I just don't understand how I hate to do this. I really do. And I hope the Bengals win on a last-second field goal when it's tied. But I'm taking the Dolphins +3.5. It's, all my we're in Cincinnati. I know everybody's going to hate this, but they're playing really good. I hope the Bengals under the lights, because we all know Joe Burrow, they're going to have these all-white unis on. Have you seen the all-white unis? They look bad. White helmet, everything for the Bengals. Joe Burrow is just better when everybody's watching him. When the lights are on, playoffs or big games, Burrow's a different cat. I think this Thursday night, everybody's watching that game. Something else, something a little extra comes on. Night game, lights are on. It's not like Andy Dalton. This is a little different. So I'm gonna take the Bengals win, but I'm gonna take the Dolphins with the points.
Yeah. 3 road dogs, buddy.
No, I took the Chiefs. They're favorites.
They're on the road.
Yes.
Technically.
Yes.
It's gonna be a neutral game now, which is a good pick.
Correct.
Okay. We've got that done. There's the NFL picks. If you're going by our
Miami's getting 3. Oh, you're right. Minus Cincinnati's
yeah.
minus. You got it right.
Okay. So if you were paying attention and you probably don't want to pick the same games we just did because we haven't had much success. So
No,
far.
let us get some games under our belts. Let's figure this out. The spreads are getting a little better. Let's figure we've got this coming.
This is only week 4 and it's only week 3 for us because we missed week 1. But That's okay. Chris, here, let's get into something that's going to be really fun.
Let's get down to business.
I don't got no time to play around. What is this?
What is this?
It's the NBA Media Day. So training camps are starting, and media day can be a lot of fun. Guys are so loose during media day.
Isn't it great?
They'll talk about whatever. They'll
Yep.
joke with reporters. It can be a fun time. Does it mean much? Nah, usually not. But it's just a fun time. Everything's gearing up. There were a handful of interesting, funny, different things that happened. Guys saying stuff, certain questions that were asked. We are going to talk about some of the stuff that we heard.
Yeah.
From NBA Media.
Let's talk about some of the best quotes that came out of Media Day. Can I start? I want to start. It really isn't even much of a quote, as much as it was just the reaction to the question.
Yeah.
My son's favorite player, which he's been struggling to talk about this, LeBron James. And we talked about LeBron a little bit today because we were outside shooting, and he doesn't want to ever wear his Lakers sweatshirts to school because nobody likes the Lakers. Nobody likes LeBron, which I get it. He doesn't want to, he's not like me, where if I'm the opposite of people, I'm wearing it, and I'm going to, once again, here I am, big mouthy over here. I'm going to talk about it.
You ready for a debate?
Exactly.
All right.
So the poor kid, he can't just like a basketball player because he's a basketball player. And, he's 9 years old, and then these 9-year-olds have to bring politics into everything. So, which they don't even understand what they're even talking about. So they just don't like him because their parents don't like him, which is fine. So let's start with him, Mr. LeBron James. Best question. Did you hear the question that was asked of him by any chance? So I don't know if it's a meme or if he really did it or what, but he shaved his head bald, or he was like, it's a picture of him bald right before all media, like it's been a couple weeks. Very first question or statement, I guess, to him was, LeBron, your hair looks great today. And he just started cracking up laughing.
Because he was still bald.
No, he wasn't.
Oh.
No, now he's got his normal fade, that little close fade, but it was done up. He sprayed in a little bit up on top because we all know he's losing it up there. It's all right, man. We'll spray something in, bro. Spray it in. I ain't got no problem with that. Spray it in. So yeah, he would, because the picture, if you've seen the picture, I mean, he could go bald. He'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
I don't know.
he
He did that a couple of years ago in the off season, and then posted a workout video or something where he was just in the gym working out, but he was singing to a song or something that was on, and he rubbed his head, and it was bald. It looked a little funny then, but
Just not used to it.
Right, if he did it all the time.
I mean, when Kobe did it, it looked real.
Yeah.
But it became what Kobe was after a while.
Right. That's true. Okay. You got any more? You wanna?
Then you go to the next one. What do you got?
Let's stay in Lakerland.
Yes.
They acquired Patrick Beverly.
Yes. Him and Russell Westbrook.
They've had a tumultuous relationship over the
Very long
years.
time. Yes.
And you know what? This is such a long quote. I had to screenshot it so that I can pull it up because I don't want to write it all down.
Love it.
This is what they're asking Patrick Beverly about the relationship between he and Russell Westbrook. It's a big thing. So he talks about how he said if so far, as long as I've been here, if I have a best friend, it's Russ. So they ask him, can you elaborate on that? This is what Patrick Beverly says. We went on this boat ride, you feel me? It was just us two. It was real intimate. It was 2,000 candles, you feel me? He landed in a helicopter. I came in one of my underwater vessels. We talked 3 hours over wine. He had a 2 Michelin star chef come pull up, cook some steaks. I had my chef pull up and make the desserts. And that's how we got to where we are now.
I love every bit of this.
I mean, that has to be made up. And if it is, that's very funny. That's off the top of his head.
That's off the top, dude. That's yes, 100%. That's off the top of his dome. Now, would it surprise me if they sat down and had dinner and hashed things out? No, not at all. but that is totally a Patrick Beverly thing to really get that thing a little over the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was really funny. And I'm sure they are. I mean, they're going to be teammates at least for 1 year. You know, unless Russ gets traded in the middle of the year. But that's a good thing too. I'm glad. I mean, both those guys are good players, and they've not gotten along in the past. It's nice to see guys get along now.
Sure.
Now they got to figure it out on a team together.
It was nice to see. It was nice to see the other day, LeBron, AD, and Russell Westbrook having a 3-point competition in the corner and laughing with each other and slapping hands. You know, because during the summer league, LeBron was at the Lakers game, and Russ was there, and they're on opposite sides of the court and didn't even talk to each other.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see him laughing it up, chucking it up.
You know who I heard won that 3-point contest?
Russell Westbrook. Dude, he couldn't miss.
Yeah.
I watched he knocked down like 7 in a row from out of bounds in the corner.
The worst of the 3 shooters for sure, by statistically.
Again, though, that's in a game situation when things are going on. A lot of people are really good gym shooters when there's nobody in front of you, bro. You can make a lot of jump shots with nobody standing in front of you.
We've seen in the few years past Ben Simmons make threes in the offseason.
Yep.
Standing out there by himself. Yep. A quote that you turned me on to, and then I looked at it. Our boy James Harden.
Okay, good. Because here's the deal. I've got see on YouTube, but we're using my phone to record this, so I don't have them. So I've got the Harden one, so it's on my phone, which is recording us currently. So the 100-pound comment from James Harden is probably my favorite. Talking about it, like guy that I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's a guy that we've talked about many times, not liking his attitude, not liking certain things, but there are times where he comes and he knows what people are saying about him. Obviously, they all do. It's in the big media outlets, and he embraced it.
That's right. And apparently, he did get in better shape,
which he's done a couple times in his career.
He's done a couple times because he got way out of shape. By the way, speaking of that, a guy who we've seen now in just a few months make like a 40 or 50 pound transition. Zion Williamson, did you see him?
Yeah, I did. They did a top and bottom thing of him answering questions, and he's definitely cut up a little bit better. His jawline, he's got a jawline. It's not a round face anymore. It's good for him, man. He needed to because them legs are breaking down, bub.
Yep, and he got big.
He's so explosive.
Yeah, and he said
I'm jumping higher. That's insane because that dude.
Yep.
So explosive.
Yeah. One other quote I wanted to say something about. I can't talk about basketball without talking about my favorite coach, Greg Popovich. He said something that was interesting that you aren't going to normally hear coaches, but he's a very unorthodox guy. But he said this kind of thing a few times, but he said this again. Just I guess they were asking about just the expectations for the season, or whatever. He said, I probably shouldn't say this, but nobody here should go to Vegas with the thought of betting on this team to win the championship.
That is such a Popovich thing to say. Light a little fire underneath these young boys. I love that.
That could very well be what he's doing.
He's also just telling the truth.
He's just telling the truth. The Spurs are not going to be good. Is
Tim Duncan coaching that team yet, or the girl that's on his bench? Is she still there?
Becky Hammond just won in her first year as a WNBA coach. Just won the championship with the Las Vegas Aces. Tim Duncan is no longer coaching there.
Who's the man to take his place now? He's been retiring for like 6 years now, and he keeps having these people on the bench that are going to be taking his place, and they just leave.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, his coaching tree is huge, so it could be somebody who coached for him before and is going to get the job wherever they're at now. But I don't know. I mean, they had for a long time. He had Edere Messina on there. He had a bunch of people.
Love to see James Posey get that job.
Yeah, James Posey could be a guy. I mean, there are a few guys that were like former players, even that. But there's a youth movement in coaching now. There are like 5 coaches under 40 right now, or 40 or under. There's a ton of guys.
Speaking of youth movement in coaches, did you by chance look up one of the whatever Morris brothers on the Celtics and look up how he answered the question about what's going on with the Celtics coach? Didn't he say something? Nobody died.
I think Marcus Smart said.
Oh, it was Marcus Smart. My bad.
Yeah.
It's Marcus
No,
Smart.
no, that's okay. Yes, yeah.
Well, how do you even say that guy? I can't say the coach's name. I couldn't do
Ime
it.
Udoka.
Yeah, Ime Udoka
Yeah.
is suspended for the year for a relationship he had with someone in the organization. I'm sure they know who it is. I'm sure it's out there, but whoever that is. So they asked Marcus Smart, and his exact answer is, "Well, he didn't kill anybody,"
Which sounds kind of bad. On the,
So if you kill somebody, somebody dies, it's just a year suspension. Is it the same? Is he trying to go apples to apples on this?
obviously not. Yeah, that's kind of it could be a little cringy to when you really think about that. Whatever actually happened, and here's the thing that's scary about this is everybody with any information about it now in the NBA is saying this is way worse than you know.
Right. I mean, it had to be, but we knew it had to, because they came out and they did this quick. There was no, hold on, you're out for training camp and then we'll see. But no, this was boom. This is a policy. We are the Celtics. This is important in what we do. Like they made it sound like this is the Celtic way and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, sure. But I mean, so it was bumping uglies with a secretary or something, which I don't know who it was. I don't know. I think they've said, I don't know. Have they said who it was? Maybe
No,
not. But
yeah.
there's talk, right? But
One of the problems was, and Malik Andrews got into a big thing with Stephen A. Smith about this one day, but apparently because the name isn't out there, like people are speculating and throwing just names of females in there. So
Yeah.
there are females in that organization whose names are getting dragged through the mud
and haven't done anything.
and haven't done anything wrong yet. And so, but I'm hearing like this is way worse. Like he's definitely done coaching. Like he's not going to come back after a year.
Wow,
And
really?
it's way worse than anybody knows.
See, but here's my thing. Like how worse can it get? He's married. I get that, and that's terrible. What he did is terrible, right?
By the way, it's Nia Long.
Yes, exactly. Who's an actress, and like that's insane. Which is what it is. So we all knew there had to be some more to this story. What is that more to the story? Because there's no, you haven't heard anything. Nobody's going to court. He didn't do any. You haven't heard anything about. It was all consensual. There's no arguments to that. There's no prosecution as of yet that I know. I mean, there's none of that's going on. So how much worse if none of that is involved? How much worse is it than, look, he shouldn't be bumping uglies with a secretary. I don't know if it's secretary. I'm just saying with somebody in the organization. But like to say this dude may never coach again. Like if anything, this is a guy who took an okay Celtics team from the year before that Brad Stevens had and took them to the championship. This is a coach that people are going to be looking at. And if that's the case, man, you ain't telling me that there's not somebody going to jump on this cat as soon as he's available.
Maybe, but it depends. I mean, the key words there were yet. I mean, none of that stuff was involved yet. There still could be whatever information's been released is all we know. If it's way worse than anything that's been released, then maybe there was something about not being consensual. Maybe there was things were going on the premises, or maybe a minor
Still
walked by and saw something, or who knows. I'm not trying to speculate. I'm not trying to create anything.
Sure,
but whatever this is, I don't know. Maybe it isn't really as bad as people are saying. But I've heard it from 4 or 5 different people now that have said, "Look, this is really bad." So I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
I mean, it's really bad to cheat on your wife anyway.
Sure,
That's really bad. I get that.
But to me, it sounds like it's worse than that.
it's got to be because to lose your job for a year, or now you're saying like indefinitely forever, like that's, I mean, people, that's something that happens, especially in the NBA. You hear about that stuff happening all the time.
Sure.
So that's what gets me.
Yeah. I know. Well, who knows?
Anyway, that's besides the point. I don't know. That was, we were just talking about quotes. You got any other quotes? What other quotes? Oh, did you look up KD? KD was getting all upset with everybody because
Well, you told me that one.
yeah, they asked KD point blank about the fact that he wanted Kevin Nash.
Yes.
Did it again.
Yes.
Steve Nash.
I want to
not
like
Kevin
really
Nash.
get up and move around and celebrate my next kill.
Oh
Because I
my
can't.
God.
Oh, that's
Steve Nash. He wanted Steve Nash. Steve Nash fired, not Kevin Nash.
And his tag team partner Scott Hall.
And his tag team partner, the GM, whoever that is. I'm probably Scott Hall. Sean Marks, Scott Hall, Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash and Shawn Michaels. Yeah. Just, you know.
Tag teams.
Anyway, and he goes on this rant about how fans know who I am and how much I love this game. Like, are you kidding me, man? You knew you were gonna have, you should have had an answer ready for this, because you knew that was gonna be the first question asked to you. In the offseason, you literally said it's me or the coach and the GM. And then they called your bluff and you lost.
That's the thing. So I did end up reading that quote, and here's what I think he was saying. Because he said, I think he was addressing the fact that he's still here now.
That he said he was going to leave, or what? Yeah, that they called his bluff, basically.
But he's still here because they couldn't get a good enough deal. That's what he was saying. Like, people know who I am. I'm Kevin Durant. He said they knew I'm a good player, so they weren't just going to take anything for me. So yes, I mean, he wasn't denying that he tried to leave.
It sounded like he was trying to not deny it,
but he was saying it didn't happen because I'm too good for them to find a good trade.
I'm Kevin Durant.
Yeah, which he's kind of right.
100% is probably true.
But he's not.
How much did they? No, of course. But how much did he actually? How much did they actually shop him? Because they knew they weren't getting anything from him to begin with.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, especially when you're also trying to shop another star.
Yeah,
Kyrie
exactly.
at the same time.
Yeah.
And Kyrie was saying not really the same thing, but he had to address it too. And he's like, yeah, I mean, I was in a place I wanted to go, and now I'm back. So here we are.
Yep.
And
Let's
then
play
I'm
ball.
sure he started talking about vaccinations and everybody's trying to take away my rights and whatever.
Flat Earth and all that stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that was definitely an interesting one from Durant. So anyway, Media Day was kind of fun.
Media's Day is always fun. Great job, Media Day.
I'll tell you something NBA players drink a lot of is Gatorade.
They do. They drink quite a bit of
Gatorade. Michael Jordan made that thing so popular back in the 90s when he was doing the Gatorade commercials. And they've had some pretty cool campaigns over the years. With the commercials and everything. Gatorade's a super popular drink. Now, there are so many more sports drinks that rival that now. I don't know how Gatorade's doing profit margin wise and stuff like that, but we've been drinking Gatorade our whole lives.
They're still killing it. Trust me.
Sure.
They're still killing it.
I'm sure. Here's the thing. This is our Mount Rushmore. Gatorade flavors.
Gatorade flavors. Best Gatorade flavors. Mount Rushmore of Gatorade flavors.
Would you mind going first on this?
Not a problem. We'll start off. I'm going to go from my least favorite to my favorite. We'll do that. I'm going to go not my least favorite Gatorade, but my least favorite. Right. Like red Gatorade, get it away from me. The fruit punch or whatever that is, I don't want it. That's not me. Don't bring it over here. Stay away. Disgusting. No. The white Gatorade Frost. I like that. That's a good one. That's on my list.
Is that the one that looks cloudy?
Yes, it looks cloudy. That's exactly right. You probably wouldn't drink it because it looks cloudy, I'm sure. The next one, and that is that's in the G2 flavor, right? And in the regular Gatorade, there is the green, like the dark green. It's like a watermelon flavor. That one is on my list. I'll go after that bad boy almost every time I see it.
Looks like booger juice.
It's a little darker though. It's like I feel like when I'm thinking booger juice, I'm thinking of a lighter green.
Okay. I mean, it depends on what season it is,
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's
and,
true.
what the
Mhm.
pollen level is and
Yeah,
things like that.
you can get a little some browns in there, and some other
Maybe a
colors.
little reds.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. So number 3, I'm going with the G2 again.
Hmm.
The grape, just the regular grape flavor in the is it G2 or what am I thinking? No, Gatorade Zero. That's what this one is. This is the Gatorade Zero, the grape Gatorade Zero. The purple G0, I guess what it's called.
Can you tell me quick what the difference between the G2 and the zero is?
No idea, but I know the zero is there's zero sugar.
Zero sugar.
I don't know what
The
the
G2 was some
is.
sort of
Yeah, the G2 is something.
healthier option, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At some point, 'cause
Yeah.
I was drinking that for a while.
And now they've got the zero, which is the zero sugar, which is what we try to get the most of for the kids, because the Gatorade's always good. Love Gatorade, but knock down on that sugar intake a little bit. You know what I mean?
Maybe it was just less sugar at the time or less calories. or
Something. Yeah, it was something. And the number one Gatorade flavor, which I have so many people, this is my absolute favorite Gatorade. I buy this every time I get a Gatorade. Maybe not every time, but probably 80% of the time I get a Gatorade that I'm buying myself, this is what I get. And so many people think that it's disgusting.
Okay.
The original lemon lime Gatorade, the original yellow lemon lime Gatorade, there is no better Gatorade than the original, the OG of Gatorades. There's no better Gatorade flavor. PP Gatorade. Yeah, I mean, you gotta be careful. Smell it before you drink it. Especially if it's in my car, because sometimes I'm on a long road trip and I ain't got time to stop.
Yeah.
So
You gotta get out to the Amish fellas.
that's right.
Okay. That's a great way to finish yours. I'll start mine with absolutely lemon lime.
Oh, thank God. Jesus,
Lemon
Pete,
lime.
yes.
Who doesn't?
I get people talking about it's no good all the time. It's like it's the best. It's my
Lemon
favorite.
lime is fantastic.
It's a terrific flavor.
I'm keeping on the original on the original theme. Orange. Give me orange.
I've never been an orange. The orange was never a fan of mine. When the orange was the second one to come
Orange
out.
doesn't like you.
The orange is not a fan of me. The orange is the second one to
Does it
come
think
out.
you're ahead on this pedestal?
It thinks I'm on some kind of pedestal. With I'm a little sassy or saucy or whatever the guy called me. I need to get knocked down a little bit. I need to get knocked down a little, couple pedestals. No, but when the orange Gatorade came out, it was the second one to come out, and I feel like it tasted watered down forever for me, and I just never got into it. Lots of people love the orange, though. That's a popular flavor.
I'm glad you talked about watered down because I'm going to mention that in a minute. Number 3, fruit punch.
It's the growth again.
Blood Gatorade.
I don't know what it is. I don't like fruit punch anything. So
Really?
yeah, Hawaiian punch, it just doesn't do it for me. Like if I want juice, I don't want any juice that's fruit punch flavored. I don't go for it.
Hawaiian punch is like 1% juice.
I call it that's juice in my world.
98%
Dude, that's juice.
sugar.
That's juice in my world, bro. Kool-Aid's juice. You got Kool-Aid? Hey, can I get some of that juice?
What is juice?
It's sugar juice.
Yeah. So lemon, lime, orange, fruit punch. Number 4.
This is like that's like the first 3 to ever come out, isn't
First
it?
3 to ever come out. Number 4, none.
I don't like Gatorade.
I think I've only drank those 3.
What?
I may have tried.
There's like
one
7,000 flavors of Gatorade.
Those are the only 3 I drank.
Good for you, man. I should have known that when I did this.
And let me tell you this: best possible way to drink any of those 3, lots of ice.
100, dude. That is such an underrated way to drink Gatorade. 1,000% correct. 1,000%.
Because
I mean, I don't do it all the time, but yes.
2 reasons. I love it. Eat as cold as it can possibly be. Also, it waters it down, which it needs. First of all, it needs a little bit.
The fruit punch needs to be watered down like all the way.
Sure.
In fact, I'd rather have water.
I think my favorite is probably the orange with tons of ice in it. Just for some reason, the ice really
And I feel like the orange already tastes watered down to start with.
That's funny. And
That's
what
so
made me
great.
think about the water
That's so
because
awesome.
it does water it down a little bit enough to
Cuts it
cut
back.
a little.
It's just, yeah, cuts it back. Just like, what one day we'll do on this podcast, I've held back from. It's very difficult for me to not do these podcasts, not do these Mount Rushmores, but your Mount Rushmore vodka, your Mount Rushmore bourbon, right? Like you just gotta have, you throw a couple pieces of ice in it, cuts it back a little bit, a little easier to drink. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, we can do any of those. I'll just look at my favorite names.
You'll just have none, and none. Oh yeah, you'll be Whistle Pig and
Yeah.
that'll be your
going,
number one. Your number one bourbon would 100% be Whistle Pig.
I'm going Bodega Cat because that's the Sam Morrill and Mark Normand have a. Oh, now I'm gonna forget.
Is it a vodka?
It's a whiskey, I believe.
Okay, so it's just
It's a rye whiskey.
rye whiskey. Okay, what is it?
It's called Bodega Cat. Bodega Cat. So it's created it.
Yeah.
They have like a.
They didn't.
Thing
Here,
that-
you want me to tell you what they did? This
They
is how
got
it works.
together and designed a thing.
They got together, they tasted a bunch of bourbons
Yeah.
or a bunch of whiskeys, and they said, that's the one we're gonna put our money and our name behind.
Mhm.
And that they did not create,
Right. They
Nothing.
didn't go. They weren't.
they
in an
might
R&D
have been
lab
able
and-
to, they might have been able to name it,
Mhm.
but they didn't mash up rye and corn and all the different things that go in. They didn't do all that.
And it's apparently not able to be consumed by the public yet. It's in like certain places, I think, and it's apparently they're working on that. They said there's so much red tape to go through to get a bourbon on the actual market
Mhm.
or a whiskey or whatever. So it might be a while to do that, but they're slowly trying to trickle it in. It's supposed to be like at some comedy clubs and stuff like that. But anyway,
Bodega Cat.
Bodega Cat.
Well, I wrote it down because I was gonna go try to find it, but it sounds like I'm not.
I mean, maybe you might be able to find it. That's the big thing I feel like about some bourbons and stuff. Like it's the find. It's some of those like rare.
Oh, it's all about the unicorns. Yeah, everybody's looking for the unicorn, right? Everybody's looking for the rare one. I'm on a couple bourbon, not a couple. I'm on a bourbon. I don't know. It's called Discord. You ever heard of Discord?
Mhm.
I just downloaded it the other day, but there's a little bourbon group in Columbus, and like you trade, 3 green Wellers and a red for, a
Johnny Walker Blue.
That's Scotch, but close. Yeah.
It's the-
Something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You might trade it for a Weller Blue, which is the 12-year. No, the 12 years is black. The blue is the cash strength, I think. Anyway, yeah, you'd really be in for that because that's like 126 proof.
Speaking of 126 and blue, some guy in Tennessee caught a 118-pound, I think it was a blue catfish or something.
Man, that's a monster.
Yeah, it's a big fish.
That's a
I mean,
monster.
you're a prolific fisherman
I wouldn't say prolific.
now. Once a week, right?
I try to get out once a week when I'm out of town here recently. Yeah,
It's pretty good.
you got to catch something to be
How'd you do the other night?
not good.
Nothing, huh?
Not even
That's
a
okay.
bite, dude. Not
Because
even
you
a
know
bite.
what? When you catch it, now you gotta figure out what am I gonna do with it? Am I gonna bite its head off and just start chewing it? Am I gonna?
Because Adam's
put
not.
it- am I gonna put it in my pocket? What am I gonna do?
Well, you got to touch it first. So.
Well, do you have to touch it? I mean, here's what I do. I catch it, I pull it up out of the water, I cut my line. Bye.
This poor fish has to live the rest of its life with a hook in it.
I mean, apparently people that fish are like, nah, the hook doesn't hurt it. Anyway, so it's fine, I guess. It just becomes part of your body then.
Sure. Somebody gonna catch that fish and go, huh? This is an easy hook to get out. Why did they just cut the line?
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why we got off on that. Why I got off on that. But anyway, that's our Mount Rushmore of Gatorade.
Love it. Well done.
We've gotta discuss our friend Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt. How about this guy, man? He is hilarious.
He's very funny.
Very funny.
He's been doing it for 30 years or whatever.
Yes.
So you would think he would be pretty polished, and he is very polished. Just came out with a new Netflix special. He just had one 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Came out with another one just in the last week or two called We All Scream on Netflix. And a a lot of the same kind of stuff. I mean, Patton has his things, you know.
He likes talking about his wife and daughter, especially, funny stories about that, and the fact that he's a big fellow.
Sure,
He's not though, but
he's not. He's very short. He's a
little pudgy guy, I guess.
He's a known guy. He's a known guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, Patton's great. So there were so many jokes that I thought were so good that I kind of didn't worry about writing them down.
Okay.
Because he started off really strong right up front.
You
And
think
I'm
he
like,
started off really strong right up front, huh?
I do. I do think he started off pretty well.
So you think the pubic the clown pubic hair,
Yeah, barn full
of clown pubes, barn full of clown pubes.
I thought that was terrific because he kept turning the corner.
I was lost.
He kept purposely interrupting
Yes.
himself to say,
Well, that's not gonna work.
when I mean this, what I mean is, I don't mean, actually, I mean the collection of them. I'm talking about
Right.
the act of stuffing a barn with them. And when I say stuffing a barn, you think, there's a thing here, there's like a
wall,
facade here, and then the rest of it's empty.
Sure.
No,
I
didn't like it.
I thought the beginning was terrible. I
Really?
did not like it at all. I was like, this dude is. And then he even said, he's like, this is the stuff I came up with during the pandemic. And I was like, yeah, well, that sucks. That was terrible.
all right.
When he first said crazier than a barn full of clown pubes, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then,
No, he took it too
oh my God, shut up about the clown pubes
he
already.
beat a dead horse. Huh?
He beat the dead horse.
Okay. All right.
And
But
I think
then
he
after
knows, I think he knows he beat the dead horse. I think he knows it was a little too much. Deep down inside.
Okay.
I feel it.
I'm sure he's getting all kinds of comments on.
What did you
stuff
think
like
about his crowd work?
that. It wasn't the best crowd work I've seen.
That
It
was
wasn't.
terrible. I wish he didn't do any crowd work at all. I feel like and maybe it's because we just did the Big J Ogerson. You were talking about Big J Ogerson the other day, and he's so good at it, and he wraps his jokes around it. And so many people, when they do that, they've got jokes ready to go for no matter what that answer is. He just walked up and was asking people what they did. Obviously, his point was to get it to where they had superhero, like they were superhero powers or whatever, because that's what he was kind of getting at with both of them. But it was like, this isn't going anywhere. And he wasn't, I don't think he did that. I thought that was terrible. And I get that it was rough to work with the first neurosurgeon, their child brainiac surgeon or whatever. And then the lawyer that prosecutes children that are
child sex offenders.
I don't understand what a child sex is. I mean, yeah, it does make perfect sense, but it just
It's not people who violate children.
Yeah,
It's
this is children
who
that violate
other children or people. or
people
whatever.
in general, I guess. Anybody.
Which
That's
is
a
not
crazy
what you
job.
would think normally about. But
Anyway, that was so that I did in that, and then he went over to the next people, and they were like the gas station thing was a little, not the gas station, the grocery store thing was a little funny with his buddy who sells light bulbs. That was my favorite part, was the guy who sold light bulbs. But I thought that guy was funnier than Patton Oswalt was. Like, that was too, and then I just don't feel like he did anything with it. I don't feel like maybe that's, like I said, maybe that's just because we've been seeing some people that are so good at it here recently, and talking about people that are so good at it recently, that I was lost. But those two things I'm not a fan of in this.
yep. That's okay. But you still liked it, huh?
Oh, 100%. Patton Oswalt is such a fantastic storyteller, and will tell 13 jokes inside of a 5-minute story. It's unbelievable. And that's what I love about him. He did the story about the AC guy or whatever it was. That was pretty good. He definitely wants his wife to know that he loves her and she's a goddess and all this stuff, because that never stopped. But that was good, and because he makes fun of himself again, which I absolutely love. I mean, the very end, what was the joke at the very end was probably the only time I really laughed out loud. Not the last joke, but it was towards the end. Kids or something. I can't remember. Anyway. No, you know what? It was the light bulb salesman joke. It was the last one I really laughed. Even though this crowd work sucked, that's what I was laughing at. Was the light bulb salesman stuff.
Yep. So one thing that I connected with, I guess, he was talking about getting the vaccine and the booster, the COVID shots and everything.
Yeah.
And he was like, I didn't jump the line, I didn't jump ahead of anybody, but I did use some inside information to act upon.
That was good. Yeah.
Because I did the same thing.
You did do the same thing from a previous work at Walgreens. Yeah, you did do the same thing.
My
Hey,
buddy's the manager at Walgreens, and I was like,
we're pitching these
hey, you
things,
got any
man.
extras?
Yeah, we're throwing these things away. Come on down.
yeah.
That's exactly what happened. And then he had a couple really good jokes with that too, with the people walking by saying no thanks. And one guy went, no thanks. That was like those guys. That was all kind of funny. I like that. So anyway,
What do you give this? What do you rate this thing?
3.6.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
3.6. It's not nothing special. I didn't think this is definitely not his best special, if you ask me.
Oh.
I think he's got two specials that are better than this one. It was still good. I would definitely suggest people to watch this because there are going to be people that like this more than I did.
Sure, for sure. And apparently I did because I gave it 4.1.
That's a good score. 4
Only
point.
half
Anything
point
that
off.
you're anything over 4 is usually that's on the really good side.
Definitely. Yep. I've been right around 4.1 the last few times.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. We've got, I mean, unless you have anything else, we've got a pick next
We
week.
got a pick for. I'm prepared this week. I'm
Nice.
prepared to pick my comedy special,
Nice. What
and
is your-
only because the ad came on right after Patton Oswalt. And last week, this is actually what I thought you were going to be picking when you said it was a new special on Netflix. I'm going to take Joe Coy. I don't know what it's called because it's on my phone. The new Joe Coy special on Netflix.
Joe Coy. Now, the last one we watched, and that was his special that was like a theme for where he's
From. He's in the Philippines, and he had that other Is it Philippines? Is that where it was? I think it's
yeah,
Filipinos. His mom's Filipino.
so that was a little different kind of special, but yeah. So, but okay, this new one, I think, from what I understand, is just the stand up.
And I love Joe Coy when he talks like his mom. It cracks me up. Joseph,
Yeah.
Joseph.
What did I do?
My favorite, like his mom does a TV. His mom's a radio. This is an old special. His mom's a radio. Has her own radio show on some like local radio show, and every time he comes on, she acts like he has no idea who she is. She has no idea who he is. Oh, now we've got a comedian. Joe, is it Joe Coy? Mom, you named me. Yes, you know who I am. All 12 of your listeners.
You know what blows me away about Joe Coy? This guy sells out and does arenas.
Yeah.
I can think of 60
sure.
comedians I think are better than this guy.
Yeah.
This guy sells out arenas. It's weird how the business works,
Mhm.
you know. This special is called Live from the Los Angeles Forum, which is an arena. All right, and that is on Netflix. Give it a shot. We're gonna watch it, and we'll tell you what we think next week. Give us a shout and let us know what you think for the Mount Rushmore.
Yep.
I'm going your Mount Rushmore, your top 4 of items you would take with you if you were going to be deserted on an island. You were going to be by yourself.
Deserted
a survival
island
kind of
items.
thing.
Deserted island items.
Yes,
You can't bring a person. It has to be an item.
has to be an item.
How
You
long
are-
away?
you
Like,
are-
do I know how long I will be deserted for?
I'm going to say no, indefinite.
Indefinite. So
Yeah,
it could
you
be
don't
a
know.
day, or it could be the rest of my life.
Depends on what you bring. What are you going to use to get yourself rescued?
Oh, I wasn't thinking about that.
You
I
don't
was
have
just
to think
thinking
of it
about
that way.
stuff I would use, just stuff I would want.
But just a little food for thought. Just maybe that's part of what you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So does this all have to like fit in a backpack? Does it have to fit in a boat? Does it have to fit in like how big of a thing are we talking here? I mean, like, can I bring a bike? Can I bring a boat? Can I bring a helicopter? Can I bring what? Like we talking about has to fit in a bag, like a backpack, a suitcase, nothing bigger than a suitcase.
I would say something you can get onto a deserted island that you would normally carry with you on like a trip.
Oh,
So
now
you
it's
can't-
got to be something normal, so like I can't bring a hatchet.
Well, no, you could, well, not, I don't mean like actually travel stuff. I just mean you can take something like that because that's small enough. You can't bring,
Fit it
you
in a
can't
bag
bring
or-
a 10-foot basketball hoop with you. You can't take that anywhere.
Right. So we'll say in a bag. Fit in a bag. You like that?
A big bag, yeah.
Big bag.
Sure.
You got something large.
Some
over
kind
there.
of
You
tool.
got something a
No,
little bigger.
I'm just saying, because, I mean,
Suit in a travel bag, like a suitcase.
sure, but a hatchet, maybe that doesn't fit in one of those, but you can bring,
A hatchet would 100% fit in a suitcase.
think so? You get, oh, a hatchet. I'm thinking of like an axe.
Even an axe would be pretty close to fitting in a suitcase. I mean, suitcases
depends.
are, 3 foot tall.
Depends on what kind of suitcase you have.
Well, I'm just talking about, the biggest suitcase I could find.
Okay. I got you. So you're checking that, baby.
Oh, check. So we're talking. That's what I was thinking. Like a check, like a checked item.
No. Not necessarily, just survival items.
I got it. I like it. I know. I'm just trying to be a little
Gotcha.
extra.
All right, so those are our two deals. We'll have our NFL picks next week. We'll have our Reese's next week. I already have them.
Mhm. Oh, you do?
I do.
Nice. Okay.
So because I bought a few things last week when we were doing it over Zoom.
Nice.
So I
Okay.
still have.
Okay.
So that's it, man. We're gonna have we'll talk about some baseball next week. We'll talk about the playoffs. Those will
Hopefully
be
Aaron
right on.
Judge is at 62 by then.
Could be 63 or 64 by then.
Yeah. I'd be even better.
Albert Pujols could be at 710 by
I
then.
doubt that, but
Yeah, I doubt that too.
it was really cool. So they clinched their playoff berth.
Mhm.
Did you see that?
I
And
didn't really see anything
he-
from it, but I saw the ticket.
they clinched their playoff berth, and before they start spraying, everybody's got the goggles on. They never sprayed anything, and Albert said a few words like, "Hey, you guys got to understand. You don't know if we'll ever be here again, and you don't know how much this means to me in my final year to be in the playoffs with the Cardinals. And you play for the Cardinals and for the city of St. Louis, and you guys at some point in your lives will understand what this means. But right now, you guys need," like, it was such a cool little speech that he did. That, don't quote me word for word, but it was something like entailed that way.
I love that so much.
Yep.
Man, I love the way this guy's going out.
Yeah.
Love it.
Couldn't be any
He's
better.
winning. He's playing well. That's the best.
Home run derbies and everything.
Yeah.
Second place.
He did.
home run derbies. All right, so Joe Coy, survival items, and much more next week. Don't forget to turn your headlights on.